I'm Julia Suliman, Senior Research Analyst for the State Board of Education. In 2013, the legislature directed the State Board to report on 6 educational system health indicators every 2 years. The board set a goal of 100% for each indicator by 2027 and set interim targets to track our progress. The report recommends reforms to meet those targets. It also recommends additional indicators that will be useful to track system health. Let's look at the state's 4-year on-time graduation rates. The goal is 100% in 2027, and here's how all student groups will need to perform to reach that goal. Now this is how the system is estimated to perform based on available data. As you can see, no student group is on target. For example, if we look at the Hispanic and Latino student group, you can see that the gap is growing each year. Every year that a group doesn't make its target, it gets harder and harder to catch up. Washington's education system is not a healthy one. In fact, it's not on track to meet the 2027 goals on any indicator that we have data for. And we may think that the class of 2027 is a long ways away, but the class of 2027 just finished kindergarten. The work starts now. These indicators are strong predictors of high school graduation. And in Washington's current system, students are at risk of not meeting standard at these important points. If we are going to support 100% of our students to graduate in 2027, we need to invest in reforms at each of these levels. In the 2014 report, the board recommended reforms to improve system health. The first is that the state needs to fully fund its basic education obligations. We cannot expect a healthy system if it's not properly funded. Beyond funding, these other policy reforms will also increase performance on the system health indicators. In addition to the immediate recommended reforms, we must also understand the role that race, poverty, and other factors play in creating opportunity and achievement gaps if we're going to better understand and improve the health of the educational system. Let's look at the class of 2014 as an illustration of the challenges the class of 2027 may face. 23% of students did not graduate in 4 years. That's around 18,000 students that didn't graduate, and more than half of those were categorized as dropouts. Half of the class of 2014 was low income, and 34% of these students did not graduate. Over 12% received special education services. Of those students, 44% did not graduate. And a quarter belonged to traditionally underserved racial and ethnic groups. 34% of these students didn't graduate. These characteristics are associated with lower on-time graduation rates, and many students share more than one of these characteristics, which may result in multiple challenges. If we examine the role that these factors play in educational achievement, we can better tailor our reforms to the specific challenges that students face. To begin tracking the system inputs that may result in opportunity and achievement gaps, the board recommended in 2014 to include a student discipline indicator. Time spent out of school for discipline means lost educational opportunity and may contribute to lower academic performance. The Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction is collecting new data on student discipline and has devised a new proportionality calculation. As you can see, certain student groups are disciplined at disproportionately high rates. Once we have enough years of data, we'll set goals and recommend specific reforms if the system is not on target. As we move forward on the system health indicators, board members will want to think about other input indicators like student discipline, additional data that will be useful to assess gaps in our system, like if a student faces multiple challenges, and how we can tailor the board's reform recommendations to address specific gaps. If you have any questions about the statewide indicators of educational system health, please email Andrew Parr. And sign up for updates, and we'll let you know when the 2015 interim report is ready.